Have you ever waited for something for a long time, and as you wait, you hope and hope that it's going to be good and not suck? But then you kind of get worried that you're kind of hyping it up in your mind so much that there's no way that this could live up to expectations. But then, when it finally gets here, not only does it meet your expectations, it exceeds them. That's what Guardians of the Galaxy was for me. It was fan-frickin-tastic. At the end of the movie, I just sat there. I was so happy that my faith had been rewarded. It was so good. It was so good. Let me backtrack a bit. This movie is not the greatest movie in the world, but it's definitely up there on the list. It was a great movie. It introduced the greater galaxy surrounding the rest of the MCU that's been teased in Thor and Thor Dark World and Avengers. You know, we've seen bits and pieces, and we've seen, you know, like a little one shot of Thanos. So we've seen little bits and pieces of the rest of the galaxy, but not much. This movie opens the rest of it up, and it focuses on, of course, the 5 characters and the Infinity Stones, which, if you're a Marvel fan, you know about the Infinity Gems, and they go on the Infinity Gauntlet, and Thanos gets that. You learn a lot more about who Thanos is, and it was a huge, amazing addition to the MCU. I can't wait to see more from this franchise. But something that it did that really impressed me, and it's something that a lot of the MCU movies have been doing more and more as they're going, is it focused less on comic book and more on movie. What I mean by this is, for years, as long as I can remember, we've had comic book movies or video game movies, you know, pretty much being churned out, and they usually suck. And that's mainly because when they go to make these movies, they're not focusing on making a good movie. They're focusing on making money off of a big franchise. But what the MCU movies have started doing, and what other comic and game movies have been doing too, is they're starting to focus more on making it a good movie instead of making it just a movie about comic book stuff. Example of what I'm talking about, Batman and Robin. Terrible movie. It was awful. But Schumacher said in an interview the reason they made that movie was to sell toys. That's why we had Batman and Robin, because they wanted to sell toys. That's not why you make a movie. You make a movie to tell a story, to have a beginning, a middle, and end, to have character development, to have conflict, to have progression, and that's what makes a movie, is a good story. Until recently, comic book movies and video games movies haven't been doing that. So with Guardians of the Galaxy, it really cemented how I felt about it, that this movie, it's a great comic book movie, it's a good comic adaptation of the Guardians of the Galaxy, but it doesn't have to be. It could stand on its own as a movie. It was a good movie. It was a great sci-fi movie, and that's what I'm talking about. Is the movies, they're less comic book movie and more genre in other genres in movies. Captain America: Winter Soldier was a political thriller. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a spy genre. Thor and Thor Dark World is definitely fantasy, or if you want to get more specific, science fantasy. They're starting to not step away from the source material. They're still staying true to that, but they're also making sure that they're making a good movie and not just making a comic book movie. During Comic-Con, I saw an interview with one of the producers on the Warcraft movie that actually got me really excited about it. He said that in the past, you know, like I said, they've made these movies off big franchises and big names just so they can make money and continue getting profit from that one franchise. Well, the producer for the Warcraft movie said that director of Warcraft, you know, yes, it's based off World of Warcraft and the Warcraft games, but he said he's not making a Warcraft movie. He is making a good movie based off of Warcraft, and that's what I love. I want solid films in their own right. I want someone who has never heard of Warcraft or who has never heard of Marvel to go sit and watch Guardians of the Galaxy and think that's a great movie. And not just think, oh, it's a comic book movie. And that's what was happening until now. I really started to notice this happening with the Dark Knight trilogy. Those are probably my 3 favorite Batman movies. As much as it was Batman, it didn't have to be Batman. It was a crime drama. And that's what I love about, screw it, I'll say it, this golden age of comic book movies. They're less comic book, more movie. And Guardians of the Galaxy definitely delivered on that, and I was so happy that it did. It was a great sci-fi movie. It had all the elements you want in a sci-fi. It had action comedy, space, spaceship battles, aliens, sexy alien girls. It was awesome. So please, if you have a chance, go see Guardians of the Galaxy and tell me what you think. What were your favorite parts of the movie? How awesome was Rocket? And let's talk about this movie, because I've already seen it twice. Such a fantastic movie. Please go see it. And also, you've seen the other Marvel movies, so you know, wait until the end of the credits. Do not leave your seat. Stay in your seat. Stay. That's all I've got for right now, but I'll talk to y'all later. Have fun.